So, are you one of those people trying to figure out this whole magnesium thing?
Yeah, it's getting a lot of buzz these days.
I know, right? Between better sleep and faster muscle recovery, I feel like everyone's talking about it. We dug into that research you sent over it.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff.
What I found really interesting is that magnesium's involved in like a ton of different bodily processes.
It's not just one thing. It's over 300, actually.
300.
Uh-huh. We're talking everything from, like, your heart health to how your body makes energy.
Wow, that's wild. But honestly, what does that actually mean for someone like you listening? Like if you're dealing with restless nights or, those sore muscles after a workout?
Well, you can almost think of magnesium like it's a conductor of an orchestra.
Okay.
If the conductor's not doing their job right, the music's going to be all over the place, right?
Right, yeah. Oh,
So if you don't have enough magnesium, things in your body, they kind of start to go a little haywire, like those muscle cramps you were talking about. Could be a sign you're low on magnesium. Or having trouble falling asleep. Magnesium might be the missing piece of the puzzle.
that makes a lot of sense. And the research actually goes deep into how magnesium and sleep are connected, and it's pretty cool. Apparently, magnesium helps your body create this thing called GABA.
Oh yeah, GABA.
Have you heard of this?
Yeah, it's a neurotransmitter that basically chills your brain out. It helps you relax and get that deeper sleep.
So it's like a natural chill pill.
Pretty much.
I like that.
There was even one study that found if people with insomnia took magnesium glycinate an hour before bed, their sleep quality got way better.
Hold on, magnesium glycinate. Are there like different kinds of magnesium supplements?
You got it. There are actually a few different types, each with their own sort of superpowers.
Right,
So glycinate, that's known for its calming effects, like we just said,
right.
makes it great for sleep. Citrate, though, that one's more of a muscle relaxer.
Ah, okay.
And then there's malate, which can be helpful for, like, muscle soreness.
We should definitely get into those more later on.
Yeah, for sure.
But first, I gotta ask, you said magnesium is like this chill pill for your brain, right?
Yeah,
Does that play a role in muscle recovery too?
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Magnesium, it's super important for regulating how your muscles contract and relax.
Yeah.
Like, ever get those super painful muscle spasms?
Oh, yeah, those are the worst.
That's basically your body saying, hey, I need more magnesium.
Yeah.
Like, it needs that magnesium to keep your muscles moving smoothly.
Okay, so that's why the research talks specifically about magnesium for athletes.
Yeah, especially those who are training really hard.
But what about for the rest of us? Those of us who just hit the gym a few times a week. How is magnesium going to help with our muscle recovery?
Well, magnesium can help a lot with reducing lactic acid buildup, which is the main thing that causes that soreness after a workout. And for those who are pushing themselves really hard, magnesium can even help repair those little tiny tears that happen in your muscle fibers during exercise.
Wait, working out causes tiny tears in our muscles.
It does, but it's a good thing. It's what makes your muscles stronger.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And guess who helps with that rebuilding process? You guessed it, magnesium.
I'm starting to see why this stuff is getting so much attention. But before we go too far, I want to back up a bit. The article talked about a link between magnesium and melatonin, which is like our body's natural sleep-wake cycle thing, right?
Right.
What's the connection there?
So you need magnesium to make melatonin. Think of it this way. Melatonin is like the alarm clock for your body,
Okay.
and magnesium makes sure that alarm clock is working right. If you're deficient, your whole sleep schedule can get thrown off.
That explains why people often take magnesium when they're having sleep issues then.
Exactly.
It's not just some random remedy. There's actually science behind it.
Totally. And there are actual studies out there showing that magnesium can make you sleep better,
Mm.
wake up less during the night, and even fall asleep faster.
This is all really fascinating, and I feel like I'm finally understanding why my doctor's always recommending magnesium. But how do we make sure we're getting enough of it?
Well, that's where things get interesting and where those different types of magnesium we were talking about come in.
All right, so we've talked about how magnesium is great for sleep and muscle recovery, but I'm kind of lost with all these different types you mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
Can we break that down a little?
Yeah, for sure. If you're looking into like supplements,
Right.
picking the right magnesium can seem a little overwhelming, but it's
Yeah.
really not that complicated once you
Right.
understand it. It really just comes down to what you're hoping to, what you're looking for.
Okay, that makes sense. So we talked about glycinate being good for sleep and then citrate for muscles. What's the difference between those two?
So with magnesium glycinate, it's attached to this amino acid called glycine.
Mm-hmm.
And glycine It has this calming effect on your nerves
Interesting.
that makes it a total rock star for relaxation and sleep. It's like giving your brain and body a little lullaby.
So if someone's having a hard time falling asleep or just like, winding down at night,
Yeah,
glycinate would be the way to go.
exactly. And there's research that shows it can actually help you fall asleep faster and sleep more soundly.
Wow, that's great. So then what about citrate? What makes it so good for our muscles?
Magnesium citrate, it's known for being absorbed really well by the body, and it's great at relaxing your muscles.
Okay,
It's also, just so you know, it can act as like a mild laxative.
good to know. So it's like a 2-for-1 then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Muscle recovery and little digestive health.
Yeah.
I like that. Are there any other types of magnesium that we should talk about?
Oh, for sure. There's magnesium malate.
Okay.
This one's often recommended for muscle soreness and fatigue.
Oh,
It's bound to malic acid, which helps your body create energy.
So if you're feeling sore after a workout or just generally tired,
Totally.
malate could help.
Yep, it can help lessen that muscle pain and give you a bit of an energy boost.
Gotcha. Anything else?
There's also magnesium threonate.
Oh.
This one's been getting more popular lately because it may have some benefits for your brain.
Wait, hold on. Brain benefits? You mean magnesium can help us think better too?
Well, early studies are showing that threonate might be able to get into the brain better than other forms of magnesium,
Okay.
meaning it could possibly help with memory, focus, and even protect against age-related brain decline.
Wow, that's incredible. So it's not just sleep and muscles, it's like magnesium's good for our brains too.
It seems that way, yeah.
So how do we figure out which one's right for us then?
That's where you just got to think about what you're trying to fix,
Yeah.
you know? What are your biggest concerns? Are you struggling with sleep? Or is it muscle soreness, fatigue? Once you figure out your main goal, it's easier to choose the right type of magnesium.
I got it. But what if you're dealing with more than one issue?
Yeah,
Like what if you have trouble sleeping and muscle cramps? Can you take more than one kind?
absolutely. Lots of people find that combining different types is the way to go. For example, you could take glycinate at night to help you sleep, and then citrate in the morning for muscle recovery.
It's like a custom magnesium blend then.
Pretty much. And don't be afraid to talk to your doctor, especially if it feels overwhelming. They can help you figure out what's best for you.
Yeah, always good advice. So we've covered the supplement side of things, but what about food? We talked about some good food sources earlier,
Yeah.
but how much magnesium are we supposed to be getting each day? Like how much do we actually need?
The recommended daily intake, it really depends on your age and whether you're a man or a woman,
Okay.
but it's usually somewhere between 310 and 420 milligrams for adults,
Are there certain people who would need more than that?
for sure. Athletes often need more magnesium. Pregnant women too, and people with certain health conditions like type 2 diabetes.
Makes sense.
And, like we said before, if you're already low on magnesium, you might need a supplement to get back to normal levels.
Okay, that makes sense. What are some signs that someone's not getting enough magnesium? Like how would they know?
Well, muscle cramps and fatigue, those are two really common signs. You might also have trouble sleeping, get headaches, or feel more anxious than usual.
Really?
Even an irregular heartbeat can be a sign.
Wow, so it can really affect a lot of things.
It can. And honestly, a lot of people don't realize that those symptoms could be from not getting enough magnesium. It's often missed
Yeah, I can see that.
because the symptoms are pretty general.
Right.
That's why it's so important to understand how important magnesium is for our overall health.
This is making me realize I need to pay more attention to how much magnesium I'm getting. Are there easy ways to get more magnesium-rich foods into our diet?
Absolutely. You could try adding a handful of spinach or kale to your smoothies
Oh, good idea.
or your salads. Snack on things like almonds, pumpkin seeds, or dark chocolate.
Those all sound good.
And instead of white rice, try quinoa or brown rice.
Yeah, those are good swaps.
Small changes like that can make a big difference.
I love black beans. Are those a good source too?
They are. And don't forget about avocado, another great source of magnesium.
I'm already getting hungry. It sounds like getting enough magnesium can actually be pretty delicious.
It definitely can be. It's really just about making those little swaps and adjustments that work for you.
So we've covered the different types of supplements, how much we should be getting, and even some yummy food sources.
Yeah.
What else should we know about making sure we're getting enough magnesium?
Well, there are a few things that can actually mess with how well your body absorbs magnesium.
Oh, really?
So it's good to be aware of those.
Like what?
For example, taking a lot of calcium can actually make it harder for your body to absorb magnesium.
Interesting.
So it's better to take them at different times a day.
Oh, good tip.
Alcohol can also lower your magnesium levels.
Ah, huh?
Also, everything in moderation.
Right, right. Are there any other things in our everyday life that could affect how much magnesium we have?
Stress is a big one.
Ah,
When you're
yeah.
stressed all the time, your body uses up magnesium faster. So finding ways to manage your stress, like through exercise, meditation, or spending time outdoors, can really make a difference.
Yeah, because then you're stressed, so your magnesium's low, and then low magnesium makes you more stressed.
Exactly. It's like a vicious cycle.
Makes sense.
That's why it's so important to look at the whole picture,
Mm.
you know? Your physical and mental health, they're all connected.
Yeah, for sure. This has been super insightful. I feel like I'm finally getting this whole magnesium thing.
That's great to hear. Like I said, knowing more about how your body works helps you make better choices.
Makes sense. But before we move on, I do have one more question.
Yeah,
Are there any downsides to magnesium supplements? Like, is there anything we should watch out for?
that's a great question. For the most part, magnesium is safe, but there are a few things to keep in mind. Taking too much magnesium can cause digestive issues,
Oh, no.
like diarrhea or stomach cramps.
So maybe start with a smaller dose.
Exactly. And it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor before trying any new supplement,
Okay.
especially if you have any health conditions or if you're taking other medications.
Always a good reminder. I'm definitely feeling a lot more knowledgeable about magnesium now,
Yeah.
but I'm still wondering about some practical tips, like how to actually work this into our routines.
Well, that's a perfect lead-in to the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, perfect.
We're going to talk about some really easy and effective ways to get more magnesium into your life and really get the most out of it.
All right, so we've talked about why magnesium is important, what it does, and all the different types.
Yeah.
But now let's get practical. How do we actually get this stuff into our lives?
Well, it really comes down to figuring out what works best for you.
Okay.
Some people do great just by eating magnesium-rich foods, while others might need to take a supplement.
I'm all about getting it from food first.
Yeah.
We talked about some good ones in the last part, like spinach, almonds, black beans.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have any fun ways to use those, like without just eating a salad all the time?
Totally. How about starting your day with a smoothie?
Okay.
You can blend some spinach with almond butter, a banana, and some protein powder. Super delicious, and you're getting a good dose of magnesium right off the bat.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Uh,
I love smoothies. What about for people who are always on the go, like easy snacks?
Trail mix is always a classic.
Oh, yeah.
Pack a mix of almonds, pumpkin seeds, dried cranberries, and then throw in some dark chocolate chips.
Okay.
Easy to take with you, and it'll keep your energy up and your magnesium levels where they should be.
That's perfect. I'm always looking for healthy snacks that actually taste good.
Exactly.
What about meals? Any tips for lunch and dinner?
Add some leafy greens to your plate.
Right.
Instead of just having your protein and your carbs, throw in some sautéed spinach or kale, something like that.
God.
You could also roast some veggies.
Oh,
Broccoli, zucchini, bell peppers.
I love roasted veggies.
Yeah, so good.
What if you're someone who's not a big fan of vegetables, though? Are there other ways to get magnesium from food?
Definitely. If veggies aren't your thing, try eating more beans.
Okay.
Black beans, lentils, chickpeas, they all have a good amount of magnesium.
Oh, those are good. I like those.
Yeah, you can add them to soups, stews, salads, even veggie burgers.
So many options. But let's be honest, sometimes it's just hard to get everything we need from food.
Yeah, I get it.
That's where supplements come in, right?
Exactly. Supplements can be really helpful, especially if you're struggling to get enough magnesium just from your diet.
Right. And you mentioned that it's always good to talk to a doctor to figure out which one's right for you.
Hmm.
But if someone's just starting out with magnesium supplements, any general tips?
Start slow. That's always a good idea.
Okay.
Begin with a low dose and then slowly increase it if you need to.
Gotcha.
Just pay attention to how your body feels.
Makes sense. We talked about taking magnesium at night for sleep.
Yeah. But you also mentioned that some people take it at different times.
Yeah. It really just depends on the person.
Okay.
Some people find that taking it in the morning gives them more energy,
Interesting.
while others like to split their dose throughout the day. It's all about listening to your body and figuring out what works best for you.
Yeah, it's like you become your own magnesium expert.
Totally.
So, are there any foods or drinks we should avoid having magnesium with?
It's best not to take magnesium supplements at the same time as calcium or iron supplements.
Okay.
They can compete with each other, and then your body might not absorb everything properly.
So take those at different times.
Exactly. Also, be mindful of high fiber foods.
Okay.
They can sometimes bind to magnesium and make it harder for your body to absorb it.
So if someone's taking a magnesium supplement, Should they take it on an empty stomach?
It's usually best to take it on an empty stomach, or at least a couple of hours away from those other nutrients.
That makes sense.
That way, your body can really absorb it well. Oh, I just remembered we didn't even talk about Epsom salt baths.
Oh, yeah, that's another great way to get magnesium.
I've heard of them, but I don't really know how they work.
So Epsom salt is actually magnesium sulfate.
Okay.
And when you soak in a warm bath with Epsom salts, your skin absorbs the magnesium.
So it's like a spa treatment that also gives you magnesium.
Exactly. It can help you relax, soothe sore muscles, and sleep better. Just add a cup or two of Epsom salts to your bath and soak for at least 20 minutes.
I'm gonna have to try that. This has been so interesting. I feel like I've learned so much about magnesium.
Me too. It's pretty amazing how such a small mineral can have such a big impact on our health.
It really is. And I love how we've talked about the science behind it, but also all the practical ways to use it.
Yeah, that's what we were going for.
So as we wrap this up, what's the one thing you want listeners to remember?
Don't underestimate magnesium.
Okay.
It's such a simple thing, but it can really help with your sleep, your muscles, your energy levels, even just your overall well-being.
Absolutely.
Right.
And this is just the start of your magnesium journey, everyone. Keep learning and keep listening to your body.
And if you have any questions or want to learn more, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. They can give you advice that's specific to you.
Great advice. That's all for our magnesium deep dive.
We hope you enjoyed it.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.